Good morning to all of you. Welcome to my YouTube channel Odisha Katha. If you guys in my YouTube channel for the first time, then please do subscribe my YouTube channel. And if you think that my video is informative and helpful to you, then don't forget to like and share my video. So today we are going to discuss about one of the sensitive topic of Indian higher education, which is the PhD scenario of India, how it's going on. And I'm telling you, this video is going to be more data centric and a real in-depth analysis in terms of data as well. So first of all, I want to tell you, India is a country which is producing 25,000 PhD graduates annually. 25,000 PhD graduates annually. And do you know that India is producing like significant increment of PhD graduates? It is something around 81.2% increment. Like whatever the number it was in 2014 and 15, in 2021 and 2022, the number has been increased to 81.2%. And the women research scholars in terms of PhD, it has been doubled in 2021 and 2022. India has made a significant strides in global research output, reflecting its growing emphasis on higher education and research. For your information, I am just quoting here the Times Higher Education report. India is producing approximately 278,000 scientific publications in 2022. This number is surpassing the United Kingdom for the first time. But the fact is, India is still below to China and United States. In terms of research publication, India is ranking 3 in G20 nations. Now, India is producing significant number of research publications, but the fact is, in terms of citation and nobility, India ranked 12th globally, which suggests that while the quantity of research output is significantly more, but there is a room for improvement in research quality and global influence as well. Now, the research output is phenomenal. The number is pretty good. But the fact is, if we check the Global Innovation Index, that is GII, India is present 39th rank in the year of 2024. Of course, I'll definitely say from 2015 the India's rank was 81st, but in 2024 India's rank is 39. But if we compare to the research output and the global innovation, there is a marginal difference. Why there is a gap? The gap is due to research quality and its impact. While India's research quantity is significantly high, but its impact to the society, it is very much minimal. That is why our Indian research cannot be recognized globally. This is one reason. Coming to the second reason, I will say the infrastructure and ecosystem. Most of the universities in India, they don't have a proper infrastructure to do research. And the market sophistication and business environment in India is pretty much low. And most of the Indian researchers, they don't know how to commercialize their research, how to marketing their research. Of course, this is the parameter which is completely affecting the Global Innovation Index. Now, the third reason may be the knowledge and technology outputs. The Global Innovation Index evaluates not just research output, but also translates of research into viable products and technologies. That means India is producing good number of research, but India is producing significant number of technology, that is a question mark. Then these are the points. Of course, we can say why India is not growing in terms of Global Innovation Index. Now its rank is 39th. I'm talking about in the year of 2024. Now, India is producing 25,000 PhD students annually, as I have discussed earlier. But there are certain constraints, there are certain challenges for the PhD scholars which the government of India has to think about it. The first fact is the funding constraints. What is that funding constraints? I'm telling you, when you join as a PhD scholar, the funding period or the funding tenure is pretty much limited. That means you're going to get only for 5 years, I'm telling you. There are of course splitting of two patterns. One is ZRF pattern. For the first 2 years you are getting some amount, and the rest of 3 years you are getting a different amount as a senior research fellowship. That is a funding constraints. Second one is, do you think that all the Indian universities are able to provide a good environment for research, or still there is a question mark whether all Indian universities are able to provide a good quality of research infrastructure and environment? Apart from some good IITs, IIC and NITs and some other research institutions as well, I don't think most of the state universities are providing that level of infrastructure or environment to do research. That's another aspect. Now, mental health. It's a serious issue, I'm telling you. Mental health, it's a serious issue. And I'm going to show you some studies actually. A study conducted which suggests that in IIT Kanpur, 80% of PhD scholars experienced anxiety and mental health issues during their doctoral degree. It's a serious concern, I'm telling you. It's a serious concern. And you know that we are continuously listening from the news article or from social media like last year in IIT Kanpur, in only one single year, 4 people of IIT Kanpur, they have committed suicide. So of course it's a serious concern. We need to think about it. The Indian government need to think about it, because if a person is in good mental health, then of course he or she can do a good quality of research. Why this kind of things happen? Like every year the number of deaths is getting more and more. Like people are saying in India the success ratio is pretty much low, but the suicide ratio is more. Now the question arises, why so? Why the Indian students are committing suicide? They are well graduated, they are well talented enough to do research, but still they are committing suicides. What can be the reason? The reasons are very simple. I'm telling you, one is academic pressure. Because when I was doing my PhD, there was a condition that you have to publish one research publication. But now I think it is 2. But as per the UGC norms, you don't need to publish any kind of a research paper to get your PhD degree. Second one is isolation. When you are doing your PhD, because I have completed my PhD, so I know that some social isolation effect is there. That means the pressure is so high, the anxiety is so high to create some research articles. That means it will eventually pressurize you to be a socially isolated human being. Third one, if I talk about the financial strain. Because when we are about to complete our PhD, we are something around 30 plus age and we have our family to feed. But the fact is, the amount of fellowship we are getting, the tenure is pretty much limited. That means we are going to get our fellowship only for 5 years. So what after that? Suppose, a lot of PhD students, they are doing their research for more than 6 years, 7 years. So there is a gap, like 5 years I am getting my fellowship. And after 2 years, after 5 years, I have to spend another 2 years for my research, but I'll not get any kind of fellowship over that period of time. So that's a kind of challenge for me. How I will manage at that point of time, right? And the final one, which I believe that is the strongest point, that is job security. after completing your PhD, you will not be sure that I will get the job security. You will always be in an insecure condition. Whether I'm stable or not, you cannot decide. That's another prospect, which I think we all need to think of. Because if a person is providing more than 5 years for that degree actually, which is highly required for the Indian system, but the fact is we are not getting the security which we are actually deserving. That is a kind of thing which eventually forces us to be in some mental trauma and mental disorder. Second one is how we can do the reformation. Do you know that India is only providing 0.66% of its GDP to the research and innovation? So we think that if India is going to provide, at least India is going to spend 1% of GDP in research and innovation, then it is a significant thing. It is a phenomenal thing, right? Now, the universities should entertain the industry collaboration. Then only the Indian researchers are able to know how to marketize or how to commercialize their research, so that the global innovation index of India, it will eventually grow to bigger number in the sense, in the top ranker, I'm telling you, right? In the last point, what I'm telling you, the Indian education system, higher education system, and the Indian government needs to think about like what kind of mental health a student is going through, whether his or her mental health is pretty good or not during the course of PhD. It should be properly counseled. And of course, the job security, these things are need to be addressed with very short span of time, because these things actually hitting a lot to the PhD scholars. Like after their PhD, they are not sure their life is going to be secured or not. The financial system is going to be secured or not. That's a question mark. That's a challenge need to be addressed. So this is all about this video. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So before you plan to join a PhD program, think all the perspective, analyze all the perspective, then decide. If you think that I can do that, then go for it. If you think no, I need to I can't handle such kind of pressures, then please don't go that. Thank you.